Hey guys, welcome back.
And if you're new here, thanks for joining us.
So today we're coming at you with another Foodie Friday. Except I'm not the one cooking.
Neither am I.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, she might not be cooking, but she's definitely the one holding the knife.
Putting food together for you. I'm making food, I'm not cooking it.
Well, it's something delicious, so here we go. So Lou, what are you making today?
I'm making ceviche.
Ooh.
It's not Cuban.
It's not Cuban.
I believe it's Peruvian for the most part.
Yeah, Peruvians are the ones that make the traditional ceviche.
Hence, ours is not traditional.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like a fusion. But it's really delicious.
Yeah.
And Lou's going to whip it up for you guys and share her recipe with you. And Lexi's down here begging for something to eat as well.
Always.
Here we go.
All right, so this recipe I learned from a fisherman. I was at a Publix supermarket looking at fish, probably very intently. And the gentleman came over and said to me, hey, do you need any help? And I said, maybe. I mean, I want to make ceviche for the first time. And he said, you're in luck. I'm a fisherman. I fished in Alaska for over 30 years. I'm now retired. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips. So he gave me a couple of tips, and he gave me this recipe that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm not very good at a quarter cup of this and a tablespoon of the other. So you're just going to get the gist of it with me. So this fisherman, what he shared with me was that all fish is frozen. So when it's caught offshore and put into the boat, it's put in with ice. A lot of ice to put the fish to sleep. And then when it's taken out of the boat and into the buyer puts it on ice again. A lot of ice, very close to frozen. And as it travels highly refrigerated, extremely close to frozen. So unless you're catching the fish, bringing it on board, and at that moment filleting the fish and doing your ceviche, it's not really fresh. So you can use frozen fish. You can go and get a white fish specifically in a bag that's frozen, defrosted, and then make the ceviche. So moving on. I've got 4 fish here. They're all white fish, which is generally what I use. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to cut it in small chunks, I guess, would be the right thing to say. Bite-sized chunks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it in bite-sized chunks.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
So besides cutting the white fish in bite-sized chunks, what other ingredients are you going to be working with today?
So the ceviche, we don't like hot stuff.
Right.
Hot as in spicy, right? So people sometimes confuse the Cuban cuisine with possibly Mexican, because there's a lot of beans involved and rice. But they generally eat their food very spicy. And a lot of other countries, like Colombians and Peruvians, they like to put hot stuff in, like pepper flakes and jalapenos and stuff like that. And those are not things that we use. And our palate isn't really like apt to stuff like that for the most part. So one of the things that I'm not putting in here is anything to make this hot, spicy.
Right.
What I will be putting in here is going to be almost like a salad. Olive oil, vinegar, salt, a little tiny bit of pepper, and then I'm going to add tomatoes, avocado, red onion, and cilantro. And then I will season it with lime and lemon juice. So those are all the ingredients. The recipe is usually with 2 fish. We're making 4 today. So you just double everything up, because instead of being 2, now it's 4. It's very scientific.
And you're using shears, I see.
Yeah, I'm being lazy. Or efficient, whichever way you want to look at it.
I love cutting with shears, especially chicken. It's super efficient.
Yeah, I've newly discovered the efficiency of using shears, and I like it a lot. A lot.
A lot of that.
I have my ingredients here. As you can see, I cut up all the fish in bite-sized chunks. And I've got lemons and limes, red onion, tomato. The tomato could be anything you want. It could be a plum tomato, a steak tomato, a cherry tomato, anything you want. A little black pepper, a little pink Himalayan salt, a little olive oil, and that's it. You're sort of kind of making a salad at this point. That's what you're doing. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take the citrus and I'm going to put it into the fish. And that's going to start cooking the fish. And while that's happening, then I'm going to chop the rest of these things that I need to put in there. Actually, I put avocado in there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to put 2 because these are tiny little Hass avocados. So I have 4 fish, 2 Hass. So that's what it looks like. So now, chopping. I actually love chopping. So now I'm going to do the chopping and I'm going to put citrus in there.
All right.
All right. Alright, so I finished chopping everything, almost everything anyway. It's got all the citrus in it, it's got salt. I'm going to add olive oil. You can really use any oil you want. It's just to cut down on the citrus so it won't be so acidy. I'm going to add a little tiny bit of pepper. We're going to let it sit overnight. Anywhere between 3 and 24 hours is good. And then tomorrow, when we're ready to eat, we'll pull it out. We'll add cilantro, mix it in, and we'll give it a taste test.
And we've got a nice little bunch of cilantro right here next to our green onions. And man, does that add quite the freshness to it. It's everything.
And on a side note, this is my favorite spoon. I don't know if the camera can capture that.
I don't think so. I see the glare from the light, but maybe.
And then over here, maybe you could see that. But Angie gave me this spoon and it says, best day ever. And of course, the best day ever is spent. Let us have coffee together forever.
Aww.
It's my favorite spoon. All right, so enough of that.
Yes.
I am going to spoon it in because I'm not a great cook and I need to have maximum control of what I'm doing. If Angie was here, she'd just tip over the bottom and go, yep, that's good. I kind of like have to look a little harder, and I have to smell. I do a lot of my cooking by smelling. So I see like the droplets over here of the oil and over here, and I kind of see it everywhere. So that tells me that I put a good amount in every little spot. And that's my recipe. I put a good amount in every spot. And I sprinkled some of this, and I added a touch of that, and it smells right to me. So I'm sorry I can't be more helpful.
I will say that you only used half of a medium red onion.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's because of you, not because of me. Because onions are not Angie's best friend.
Oh, no. I mean, thankfully, the acidity from the lime and the lemon, it's actually going to cook the onions down, too. And a lot of people think when they eat this ceviche that the crunchiness is the onion. But in fact, it isn't, because the onion softens and cooks with the lime and the lemon juice. The crunch is actually going to be the stems of the cilantro.
Actually, the crunch in the original ceviche recipe will be corn.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because oftentimes you're going to find corn inside of the
Traditional ceviche.
But we're keto, and corn is not our friend.
Right.
Sadly so. Because I love corn. And this is keto friendly.
Yes.
And also, the tint in here is going to change a little bit, and that's because it's a red onion.
Right.
And some of the color of the red onion is going to bleed, and it's going to get a slight tint. There's not a lot of onion in this one, so there won't be a lot of tint. But the fish is like already cooking.
Yeah, I saw that. The fish, you can start to tell. Let me get
See if you can
a
see
close-up
here.
of one.
You can see here, it's opaque, white, and then
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a difference.
I see that in a couple of different bite-sized pieces.
Yeah.
And you can see that's already starting to cook through.
And they're all there in the swimming pool having a good time.
In the swimming pool.
They're all there hanging out in the swimming pool until tomorrow.
All right.
And
So-
we also made this much because we're going to share some of this with our neighbor Joe. And we have an upcoming story
About Joe?
about Joe. So stick around. And then a little bit of pepper. Just like a little tiny sprinkle. Again, those are my measurements.
All right, guys. So it is the next day.
24 hours later, the ceviche has been marinating.
It's nice and chilled in the fridge.
All we got to do is add the cilantro, chop it up, mix it in,
And eat.
and eat. Yeah, that's the most important part.
Do a little flavor test with you guys.
Yeah.
So let's get to work. Guys, are you excited? I know I am. Lou makes a really good ceviche.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm really excited about it. And then you saw that super easy way of making tortilla chips for those of us that are keto without getting all those carbs. We each got one tortilla, so it's 2 net carbs. Brushed it with some ghee, sprinkled some salt, and
Good
did you hear that crunch?
Yeah.
It's the real deal.
I'm going in.
Go in. Oh my god, the fish is so good. By Lou putting the cilantro in it today, it just brings out more freshness.
Right.
I don't know, it's super delicious.
And also, we don't take it out of the refrigerator and eat it right away. We take it out of the refrigerator once it's been marinated, and then we let it sit for a little while. So it comes up to maybe a little colder than room temperature,
Right.
but not like really cold.
Right. We don't serve it right away.
Right.
Probably leave it sitting on the counter for about 30 minutes, maybe a little bit under 30 minutes or so, just to get that chill out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So good.
You usually cut the fish a lot smaller than this, though.
I do.
Those are some big bite-sized pieces. I ain't complaining.
I know you're not.
So yeah, I hope you guys learned something new. Give this recipe a try. Comment down below if you plan on trying it and what tweaks you would make. And if you enjoyed this vlog, please give us a big thumbs up.
If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button now. Move over to the notification bell and click that too so you can get notified every time we upload a video. And as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you soon.
Bye guys.